How's it going? You got Alan here with the Constitutional Press. So, we've had a lot go on in the last week. From the issue with the Capitol building, we have, another articles of impeachment in for President Trump. We also have people saying that it was his fault about the riot, incitement of a riot, etc., etc. But here's a few things that we also need to look into, is the fact that President Trump did call people for the march. But he also told them to peacefully, patriotically, and constitutionally do so. And we can demonstrate that right here in this first clip that we're going to show you today. Whether you agree with me or not is irrelevant. This is the point of a free journalist who does investigation, not just into our police force and fire departments and things to that extent. Yes, that's what we start with. That's what we have audits for. Government officials, federal agents, post office workers, stuff like that. But we also have to look into, as a constitutional press and as the real media, we need to look at multiple things. And are we just going to get tunnel vision and focus only on law enforcement? Are we only going to focus on fire? Are we only going to focus on post offices, sheriff's departments, police, state, local police, state police, whatever the case may be? Are we going to focus on just those particular aspects? First Amendment protected activities, broader than that. Second Amendment protected activity, broader. You have multiple different scenarios that can encompass a particular constitutionally protected activity. And by getting tunnel vision and only focusing on a couple of those areas, it gives the auditors a bit of a skewed persona. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and show a couple clips. One of which is from the Trump rally. Granted, I could have showed the whole clip, but I guarantee I would have probably lost a lot of people for it. And I'm not wanting to do all that because y'all would have probably been either sleeping or whatnot. So I'm only going to show a clip where he was talking about going down to the Capitol building and doing so in a constitutional manner. So let's go ahead and get that clip going right now.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. And we're going to the Capitol, and we're going to try and give our Republicans, the weak ones, because the strong ones don't need any of our help, we're going to try and give them the kind of pride and boldness that they need to take back our country.
Okay, now that we've got that established, the president himself has not condoned any of the violent acts. In fact, he completely and utterly rebuked them. So we also need to look at that aspect as well. If a sitting president, who is still your president and my president and everyone's president in this country, at least for another week, if he lets you know, look, this is not how I meant this to happen, what other option do we really have? He hasn't gone out and, promoted violence or anything else. He's not saying, oh, get your guns and let's go storm the White House. And that's, or any other government building for that matter even. He's not saying go get your guns and let's two-way our way into the freaking Capitol building, or let's two-way our way into the Pentagon, or let's two-way our way into the Senate and everything like that. It's ridiculous to think that. I have spent this entire week doing research on this when I'm off work. And sometimes even when I'm on work. Like right now, I'm at work waiting for a dispatch. But the point is, he's never, in his entire terms, his entire term as president, he's never requested the people to be violent. He's always spoke against violence. Look what happened with the George Floyd incident. Did he promote violence? No. He condemned it. He rebuked it. Why are we going to think that now all of a sudden, because he's got 1 week left, oh my goodness, we're going to go ahead and we're not going to get this. We gotta go take back our freaking government buildings. Okay, look, there are ways of doing so. We have constitutional protection, as I went ahead and I spoke about on my Facebook page, which I will go ahead and pull an excerpt from that here in a little bit after I show this next clip. That way we can kind of tie it all together, okay? So let's go ahead and see this next clip. It is about 3 minutes or so long of President Trump talking about, how he did not agree with the actions that took place in regards to the riots that happened at the Capitol building. Okay, let's roll that real quick.
My fellow Americans, I want to speak to you tonight about the troubling events of the past week. As I have said, the incursion of the U.S. Capitol struck at the very heart of our republic. It angered and appalled millions of Americans across the political spectrum. I want to be very clear. I unequivocally condemn the violence that we saw last week. Violence and vandalism have absolutely no place in our country and no place in our movement. Making America great again has always been about defending the rule of law, supporting the men and women of law enforcement, and upholding our nation's most sacred traditions and values. Mob violence goes against everything I believe in and everything our movement stands for. No true supporter of mine could ever endorse political violence. No true supporter of mine could ever disrespect law enforcement or our great American flag. No true supporter of mine could ever threaten or harass their fellow Americans. If you do any of these things, you are not supporting our movement, you are attacking it, and you are attacking our country. We cannot tolerate it. Tragically, over the course of the past year, made so difficult because of COVID-19, we have seen political violence spiral out of control. We have seen too many riots, too many mobs, too many acts of intimidation and destruction. It must stop. Whether you are on the right or on the left, a Democrat or a Republican, there is never a justification for violence. No excuses, no exceptions. America is a nation of laws. Those who engaged in the attacks last week will be brought to justice. Now I am asking everyone who has ever believed in our agenda to be thinking of ways to ease tensions, calm tempers, and help to promote peace in our country. There has been reporting that additional demonstrations are being planned in the coming days, both here in Washington and across the country. I have been briefed by the U.S. Secret Service on the potential threats. Every American deserves to have their voice heard in a respectful and peaceful way. That is your First Amendment right. But I cannot emphasize that there must be no violence, no law-breaking, and no vandalism of any kind. Everyone must follow our laws and obey the instructions of law enforcement. I have directed federal agencies to use all necessary resources to maintain order. In Washington, D.C., we are bringing in thousands of National Guard members to secure the city and ensure that a transition can occur safely and without incident. Like all of you, I was shocked and deeply saddened by the calamity at the Capitol last week. I want to thank the hundreds of millions of incredible American citizens who have responded to this moment with calm, moderation, and grace. We will get through this challenge just like we always do. I also want to say a few words about the unprecedented assault on free speech we have seen in recent days. These are tense and difficult times. The efforts to censor, cancel, and blacklist our fellow citizens are wrong, and they are dangerous. What is needed now is for us to listen to one another, not to silence one another. All of us can choose by our actions to rise above the rancor and find common ground and shared purpose. We must focus on advancing the interests of the whole nation, delivering the miracle vaccines, defeating the pandemic, rebuilding the economy, protecting our national security, and upholding the rule of law. Today, I am calling on all Americans to overcome the passions of the moment and join together as one American people. Let us choose to move forward united for the good of our families, our communities, and our country. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit from the Facebook post I posted yesterday. And you can agree with me or you can disagree with me. Again, you're a free American. You have the right to do whatever you want on that aspect. But I will say, and these are my words, so you can take it for what it is. It's my thoughts, my words, okay? The people responsible for the destruction are the ones responsible, and you can't blame an entire group or movement for the actions of those who take it too far. I do not support riots or extremist activities like those that took place, but I do believe in peaceful marches, pickets, and protests, and that is our constitutional right to engage in those activities. You can't silence those who have in their hearts to be passionate about this land that we live in. It is simply impossible. It is possible. Now listen here. It is possible to charge and arrest those that take any action too far and take things out of context to benefit or justify themselves. It is selfish for those to try to turn a constitutionally protected activity and turn it into a crime by taking it too far. Did we have the right to occupy the Capitol building? Let's think about that for a second. It's a government-owned building. We own the government. Yes, it is our building. It is our property. We have the right to walk through that door at any point in time. Under the Constitution, we have the right to walk in that door without anybody stopping us and say, hey, we're here. It's our right. It's our building. Think about that for a minute. You can't be trespassed from a public or government-owned property, which is owned by the public. You can't be trespassed at all unless you commit a crime on it. Those of y'all, if any of y'all watching this are one of the ones that was out there, I don't know if you were or not. I don't know the names of who all was out there or where you traveled from or what the case may be. But if you're one of the ones that's out there watching this video right now, that was one of the ones that was at the Capitol building, and you incited violence, you incited a riot, or you were part of the incitement of the riot. Now, keyword I'm using is riot. If you're one of those, I condemn you. I rebuke you. I rebuke your actions. It is not what is protected under the Constitution, and I pray to my Lord that you get prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and you serve time in a federal prison for your actions. You need to go to prison. There's no two ways about it. You broke the law. You violated the constitutional rights that you thought you were afforded to go in there and start breaking stuff. We bought it. I get that. It's our tax dollars that bought the stuff. It's our tax dollars that paid for those windows. But guess what? Doesn't mean you can break them, because that shows violence. Violence, aggression, it's not proper, and it's not a constitutionally protected activity. You've got to think about your conduct and how you act when you're out in public. You want to go ahead and stand up for a cause, stand up for the cause. But here's the thing. Do it in a fitting way. That's that. It is our building and we pay for it. It's like saying, well, you can buy this house, but you're never allowed to come in it. That doesn't make sense to anyone. And people of the United States, this is a call to action. Wake up and stop being stupid, thinking that you can destroy things and get away with it. You want to do something to make a change, do it the right way. Grab a sign, grab a megaphone, instead of a PA system. The First Amendment clearly states. Now, this is directly what the First Amendment states. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, prohibiting the exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or of the right of the people to peaceably, not forcefully, peaceably assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Key word in that is peaceably assemble. Not to burn down, not with force, not with violence, but to stand together and make a human chain, make a picket line, whatever the case may be. Make a real change and don't hide behind the cowl of cowardly actions. America is the land of the free and the home of the brave, but we have people on both sides of the fence, both Democrat and Republic, who are acting like children. Stop! You want to make a difference, do it the right way. I think the time has come where we need to take every political party out of their offices and start over. I really do. I wrote that. It's in print. And I'm audibly saying it. I wrote that. Yes, I believe that we actually need to invoke the Constitution and just start from scratch. Literally start from scratch. The representatives, if they're doing a good job, then guess what? They'll get reelected. We need to wipe the slate clean. And I mean completely clean. Start over. We've done this before as a nation. People saying, oh, well, this is the first time in history this kind of stuff's ever happened. No, it isn't. Have you all forgot about the Revolutionary War when we broke away from Great Britain? Have you not remembered the Civil War that we had? Granted, it was North versus South, but guess what? It was still a civil war. This is not our first rodeo. We've got to remember what it was like and what made us make those changes. Guess what? We need to do it again. If you agree, great. If you don't, sorry. I don't care. But you got to remember this. Freedoms are for everyone. Not just one person. Not for just one political party. But for everyone. And I made this channel. And I made this Facebook page, which is facebook.com/constitutional press. I made these outlets for a reason. For us to make a change. Be part of the change. I'm not saying that President Trump's the greatest president in the world. I'm not saying that, well, if you read this, I can say that I did say Biden was going to be the worst possible option. So, definitely if you get a chance, I will link in the comment section. I'll link the press page. That way y'all can click on it and check it out. And it is the last actual article that I wrote, and I wrote it on January 11th at 8 o'clock in the morning. And there's also a video on there. It's called Do Not Fall Into Their Trap. Definitely please watch that. Again, it's on the Facebook page. Like I said, I'll link it in the description, and y'all can go visit that at your leisure. But we've got to remember that not all of this going on is the fault of one man. It's the fault of a nation. Because we let tyranny go for so long that we've gotten used to it. And then one person steps in and busts open the curtains and saying, look at what your people are doing. Your government is doing this. It's stupid. Why are we allowing this? And he went ahead and put his own call to action out. You know what we did? A lot of us, we went for it. We went ahead and agreed, because we saw it clearly what was going on. Flagrant and intentional disregard of our rights. We don't like it. We're not sheeple. So think of it like that. We're not sheeple. Okay? We don't just follow the leader. It's our government. It's our houses. It's our Senate. It's our Congress. It's our White House. It's our government. Guess what? Fire them. Start over. What do? We are the managers, let's say, for example. We are the managers and owners of this country. Just like, okay, if you had a restaurant or if you owned a business of some type, let's say you own a carpentry store, let's say you own a Walmart, whatever. But if you own a business, you're the owner. Your managers and your employees screw up. What do? Fire them. Find somebody else to replace them. Guess what? Same concept. We are the owners of this country. We own it. We, the people, own it. I'm not saying go out and incite violence, because that's the last thing any of us want. Yes, I'm very pro 2A. I carry a firearm everywhere I go. I have one on me right now in my car. Oh well. But guess what? Do you see me pulling it out and using it and everything like that, going after political parties and political leaders and stuff like that? No, because that's just beyond, I can't even talk today. That's beyond vagrantly stupid. There's a right way and there's a wrong way. Letting the people know what's going on is the right way. And then the people together stand up and petition. Guess what? We get a petition. If we was able to go ahead and get representatives for ourselves, even if it's the representatives we elect, and we get a petition to them with enough signatures on it saying that we want something to happen, it happens. It's called a redress of grievance. And to petition the government for that. They have to listen to us. We are the people. We are the power. They don't have anything outside of what we give them. Take the power back. They're not the bosses. We are. That's my little ramble for this morning. This Constitutional Press. If you liked it, if you like what I had to say and you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Okay? Share it to your Facebook. Share it to your whatever. I don't care. I would appreciate it. Get the word out. Take care, all, and God bless. And God bless the USA.